What's up, family? Welcome back. Today we are in John chapter 13, and the title of that text is Preparing for His Betrayal, starting in verse 1. Now before the feast of Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. Verse 1. References to Jewish religious festivals and the coming of Jesus' hour now converge. Jesus' own refers to the 12, the representatives of his new messianic community. And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from God, and went to God. Verse 2 through 3. These verses show that Judas already was under Satan's influence, and that Jesus had full knowledge of this before he washed the disciples' feet. He riseth from supper and laid aside his garments, and took a towel and girded himself. After that he poureth water into a basin, and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. Verse 4 through 5. The practice of foot washing had a long Old Testament tradition in Genesis 18:4. Jesus' performance on this menial task exemplified his humility in Philippians 2:6 through 8. Then cometh he to Simon Peter, and Peter said unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet? Jesus answered and said unto him, What I do thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter. Peter said unto him, Thou shalt never wash my feet. Jesus answered him, If I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me. Simon Peter said unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. And Jesus said to him, He that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore said he, Ye are not all clean. So after he had washed their feet, and had taken his garments, and was set down again, he said unto them, Know ye what I have done to you? Ye call me Master and Lord, and ye say, Well, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example, that ye should do as I have done to you. Verse 12 through 15. The phrase in 1 Timothy 5:10, wash the saints' feet, shows that his disciples got Jesus' message. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him. If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them. Verse 1 through 17. With his crucifixion imminent, Jesus washed his disciples' feet as a final proof of his love and to give them an example of humility and service. In a striking demonstration of love for his enemies, Jesus washed all of his disciples' feet, even including Judas. Jesus' act is all the more remarkable because washing people's feet was considered a task so low it could be performed only by non-Jewish slaves. In a culture where people walked long distances on dusty roads and sandals, it was customary for the host to provide water for foot washing. This was usually done upon arrival, not during the meal. The disciples probably felt guilty that none of them had thought to do this. I speak not of you all, I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled, he that eateth bread with me has lifted up his heel against me. Verse 18. Judas's treachery fulfilled Old Testament typology. Jesus cited Psalms 41:9, which dealt with Absalom's rebellion against King David. Eating someone's bread indicated close fellowship, and yet Judas lifted up his heels against Jesus, an idiom that describes betrayal. Now I tell you before it come, that when it is come to pass, ye may believe that I am he. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that receiveth whomsoever I sendeth, receiveth me, and he that receiveth me, receiveth him that sent me. Verse 19 through 20. Jesus' statement is one of several references to his omniscience in the section. I am he, as in chapter 6, verse 35, very likely had overtones of deity. When Jesus had thus said, he was troubled in the spirit, and testified and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. Then the disciples looked one on another, doubting of whom he spake. Verse 21 through 22. Jesus' being troubled in spirit parallels the emotions of David, who expressed anguish over the betrayal of a close friend in Psalms 55:2 through 14. Now there was leaning on Jesus' bosom one of his disciples, whom Jesus loved. Verse 23. The reference to one of his disciples whom Jesus loved leaning on Jesus' bosom is mentioned again in chapter 21, verse 20. Clearly, he was an integral member of Jesus' group. Tradition identifies him as John, author of his gospel. Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake. When he then lying on Jesus' breast said unto him, Lord, who is it? Jesus answered, It is to whom I shall give a sop when I have dipped it. And when I have dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon. And after the sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Jesus unto him, That thou doest, do it quickly. Now no man at the table knew for what intent he spake this unto him. Verse 24 through 28. On a human level, Jesus' action of giving bread to Judas constituted an indication of friendship as well as a final appeal that Judas rejected. For some of them thought, because Judas had the bag, that Jesus had said unto him, Buy those things that we have need of against the feast, or that he should give something to the poor. Verse 29. The supposition that Jesus may have sent Judas to give something to the poor harks back to chapter 12, verse 5, where Judas presented himself as a champion of charity. Almsgiving was an important part of Jewish piety in Matthew 6, 2 through 4. He then, having received the sop, went immediately out, and it was night. Verse 18 through 30. Judas' betrayal of Jesus comes as no surprise to the alert reader. John repeatedly anticipated this treacherous act, but far from indicating that Jesus made a mistake, the betrayal actually fulfilled Scripture. This section also contains the first mention of the one Jesus loved. He is frequently featured side by side with Peter in the second half of John's Gospel. Verse 30. The phrase "it was night" strikes an ominous note. But this is your hour in the power of darkness. Therefore, when he was going out, Jesus said, Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God be glorified in him, God shall also glorify him in himself, and shall straightway glorify him. Verse 31 through 32. Jesus' glorification refers to his death. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. Ye shall seek me, and as I said unto the Jews, Whither I go, ye cannot come. So now I say to you. Verse 33. Jesus' words repeated to the Jews and the disciples mean different things. The Jews would not be able to find him, but Jesus would prepare a place for his disciples. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. Verse 34 through 35. Love must be the distinguishing mark of Jesus' disciples. Jesus' new commandment closely resembles the Mosaic commands to love the Lord in Deuteronomy 6:5 and one's neighbors as oneself in Leviticus 19:18. While the command to love God and one's neighbor was thus not new, Jesus' example, as I have loved you, was unparalleled. Simon Peter said unto him, Lord, whither goest thou? Jesus answered him, Whither I go, thou canst not follow me now, but thou shalt follow me afterwards. Peter said unto him, Lord, why cannot I follow thee now? I will lay down my life for thy sake. Jesus answered him, Wilt thou lay down thy life for my sake? Verily, verily, I say unto thee, the cock shall not crow till thou hast denied me thrice. Verse 36 through 38. Peter would indeed deny Jesus thrice. After his resurrection, Jesus would ask Peter 3 times, "Lovest thou me?"